This episode of the podcast is brought to you by the UK's #1 coral selling website, prestigereef.co.uk and reefdork.etsy.com for all your 3D printed aquarium accessory needs. What's up, YouTube? Hello, everybody. Welcome to the Prestige Reef Dork Show. Today, we've got the usual dickhead down there, Ryan. No one cares about that. But Thanks. We've got a very special guest, Amy from Amy Does Some Stuff. Amy, hello.
Hiya, how are you?
How you doing? All right, how are you?
I'm good. Very good.
First thing I need to say is I've changed the title.
Yeah. Why did you change the title?
Yeah, why did you change the title?
Because of this guy. Because he said it was patronising, and I was like, "It's not patronising. It's good." And then
Ryan, and this guy.
Yeah, and then Ryan was like, "Amy, do you think it's patronising?" And she was like, "Yeah." I was like, "Oh, okay."
Well, no, I wanted to know what you meant by it more than anything.
Yeah, it's because what I meant by it was because this is like YouTube and TikTok are like completely separate, right? So
yeah.
So you could have the biggest YouTuber in the world with like 100 million subscribers, but if you're into TikTok, you got no idea who they are. So that's what I mean. So I think what I meant was that
I'll let you off. That's a good explanation.
My audience probably won't be that into TikTok. Someone I'm sure, but like look how massive, like million and whatever. But
it's funny because when we spoke about this the other day, that wasn't what you said.
Shut up.
I'm just joking. Just out of interest, this is the first time as well that we are live on my channel, I believe, as well. Correct. I think it's worth working. I've seen some of the comments are coming through.
This is your channel.
Oh, interesting. I have 7 viewers. I think most of the people obviously didn't know, but interestingly. So the one thing to let people know is that the comments don't come up on the software that we're using, does it on my channel? So I can't.
I thought they did actually, but it looks like maybe not. No.
Okay. Southeast Reef was the last one, but it doesn't come up. But I can I can see them on my phone. So if you want to comment, I can still see it.
Happy days. But the idea is, I found out the other day that the software can let guests stream the stream to their own channel. So there we go. It's basically the same. It's just you can watch it on Ryan's channel as well.
It only took 97 episodes, 97 2-hour episodes for him to work that out.
Yeah, and that feature's been there the whole time, it turns out. Anyway,
good to know.
Anyway, we're going to be talking about TikTok, basically. So what is a TikTok? What does that mean? Is it like a disease or like, yeah?
It's literally a short form video.
Yeah.
Literally, I think most people probably film them within the app and edit in within the app, and then it just goes out and you can scroll for hours and hours and hours and see.
Wasn't actually serious. I do know what TikTok is. I've heard of it.
Well, for the people that don't know,
one of my colleagues' kids has got it, so you know. But no. But you're like short form exclusively. So
I am, yes, yeah. Like
he always likes to get into
3 minutes is my longest that I go, 3-4 minutes, and that's very rare.
Ryan, you want to take the mick at me?
No, I was going to say, Alex always wants to talk about the more how do I put this? Boring stuff.
Boring stuff.
He wants to know about TikTok. Yeah, boring. Everyone wants to know about why you like weird fish. That's what people really are interested in. But to kick this off, I think probably you should let people know obviously who you are, how, and maybe a little bit how you got into reefing.
Yeah. So I am Amy. Amy Does Some Stuff on everything, and then my name usually is Amy in the Wet Pets, so you can search either and I'll come up. I've been in it like 4 or 5 years now. I started on the back end of COVID, so I've had tropical fish, and I've grown up my dad always did, planted tanks and stuff like that. So when he broke down his tank, he said to me, "Oh, do you want my tank?" And I said, "Yeah, I'll set it up." Did it tropical, and then. Yeah, it was towards the end of COVID. I just thought to myself, I really want to try saltwater. I want clownfish. I want you go into a fish shop, you see the tropical side and then you see the saltwater side and you think, they're a lot better. They're a
Yeah.
lot more colourful. There's a lot more stuff that you can get. So, started up a little tank, took down my tropical tank, and then I used a canister filter for the first little bit as well. Didn't have a sump or anything like that. Used a canister filter, and it's kind of just snowballed from there, really.
Okay. How long did you do freshwater for first? And did you find that it helped with moving over to salt water, or you?
Yeah, so I'd done it for years. I had little odd tanks and stuff like that, and then obviously I'd grown up with them and stuff. So it did, yeah. Obviously, when it comes to like the nitrogen cycle and cleaning and doing water changes, you kind of understand the way in which what you need to do to keep a tank healthy and stuff like that. So yeah, it really did help. Although it was still a huge learning curve, like salinity and whatever else, all the dosing and stuff like that.
Do you and then you said you moved over to a tank with a canister filter, and that's actually how I started as well. So
right, okay.
Yeah, so I bought a freshwater tank, and it came with was it a Fluval FX5? It was like a fancy filter at the time. I don't know if it's still fancy, but at the time it was.
I think mine was a Fluval as well.
But was it the FX5? You know, that
I
was like
I don't know numbers.
But Alex is he's like, equipment, show people.
It wasn't that one.
Oh, FX6.
It wasn't that one.
Oh, they've outdone them.
Oh, they've got better than you, Ryan.
So, but yeah, so I started like in a similar way. Did you have you got a sump now, or do you?
Yeah, sump, and then my other tanks have got the back, you know, the weir at the back and stuff like that.
How many? You've got 3 tanks. How many have you got?
4 at the moment.
4.
5 when I got my jellyfish set up, but I don't have them set up at the moment.
Is 4 not? Is that like an absolute nightmare, or are you all right with
I mean, these 2 tanks take the most work. Well, this one takes the most work because it's got all my corals in it and stuff. But like the tank that's literally just got my bobbit worm in, I do, and rock, I just do water changes. I scoop some out, I put some in. Same with my mantis shrimp tanks. I've got loads of algae and stuff in there, macroalgae. I just do water changes in that. There's no corals or anything like that in there. But yeah, these ones probably take the most. Probably because they're bigger as well.
Ryan said at the start that you like weird stuff. Classic example. You've got a tank for a bobbit worm.
Yeah.
How did you find the bobbit worm?
Specific tank. So I'm in a group chat. There's a company called DBME. I think I added you into it. No, you tried to get into it, Ryan, and then I saw you, and I'm an admin in there, so I let you in. And I think there's a few guys in the chat from DBME at the moment. So I was in that group. That's where I got this tank. Actually, I won it on one of their comps.
Oh, really?
I just came in. Yeah, it was my first. We were at Aqua. I won a £200 gift card. Nice. I then waited because I didn't know what I wanted. I saw that this tank went online. I put all of my winnings into that, and then I won the tank. So I got it for free. Very lucky. Very, very.
Yeah, and then I put all the £200 into trying to win the tank. Did you?
Yeah, but I won that £200.
Yeah, but there was no guarantee that you were going to win the tank.
Oh, so... no. I just went, I'm going to put it all into this.
That's a bold move. A lot of people would have just taken the £200 and gone, I'll go buy something nice with it.
I could have gone, there you go, DBME for the win. I could have gone on and actually bought corals on there or gone into different raffles that they have, but no, I put it all on this tank. I wanted this tank. Anyway, going back to my bobbit worm, that's where I got it from. So I think one of their customers found it in her tank, didn't want it. So Stevie took it in and then mentioned it on this group. And I was like, I want that. Don't know why, just wanted it. So shipped it over to me. And now I have it.
Huge? Because sometimes they're like a meter long, aren't they?
Well, it was huge, but when he was catching it broke in half.
Okay.
And they regenerate. So the head end can regenerate its bum, and then the bum end can regenerate a head. No,
I didn't even know that.
Yeah, they're really clever little creatures. So it was half the size it would have been, but yeah, it's a good size. It's called Pookie.
Have you got a picture, Alex, of what a bobbit worm looks like for the people that don't know? Just because this is not the most attractive creature. This is the sort of thing that people will go, I'm going to put that in the toilet, not in a tank.
Yeah,
you see them on
it's not typically a pet, is it? So that's what she looks like. So she's the black one. She's got the iridescence on her. Yeah.
That must have been that must have been a hitchhiker, I assume. No one
yeah.
bought.
Oh yeah, no, I don't think that the original person wanted it or knew. I think her fish were disappearing, and then she saw it one day.
Does it sit in the middle in the rock then, or in the sand?
Yeah,
like
so it's there's loads of different rocks in there, but it's under one rock at the moment, and they make like a slime coated burrow. So if I pick that rock up, I can see like the intricate. She just is rolled up under there. She stays like clumped up under there, and there's entrances coming out of that rock, so I can see where she's looking. Do you know what I mean? And that's where I put the food. See, Pookie. That's why I called it Pookie, because they're absolutely terrifying, and I needed a cute name for it.
The funny thing is, both Alex and I don't know if you saw that, Alex, because the screen was small, we both went at the same time. And you're like, I'm going to make this my pet.
Yeah. She's and I mean, she's so easy. I feed her like once a week, a big fish.
Yeah.
Oh, really? What was you going to say? Big fish? What, like a tuna, or what? Like, how big are we talking?
No. What are they? Are they the silver size that you can get? You know, the TMC pack of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, I just feed her a good sized one of them.
It must be massive then.
It's
interesting.
I wouldn't know. I haven't like got her out and measured her and like laid her out fully. But
I think she must like thick to be grabbing one of those fish.
Yeah, I mean the jaws. She could grab everything. I've had a fish on her tweezers at one point and put it in, and she's grabbed it and she's ripped it out of my grasp.
Oh, really?
She's really strong.
Are they frozen food? Is it frozen fish?
Yeah, and I do. And I defrost it. Yeah.
It's what people usually feed them to lionfish and frogfish and stuff.
I've heard of it.
Yeah, although I did have a fish die last week. My my algae blenny beat up my fairy wrasse to the point of death, and it was her feeding night, so I just fed her that. I was like,
this day is going to get a lot worse for you, mate. I know.
Yeah.
I was going to rub salt into the wound.
I was going to go and defrost her some food anyway. I had this fish that there was nothing wrong with it. It had just been beaten up, and I was like.
It's funny because it feels different, doesn't it? But the only reason it feels different is because it's like a bright color compared to a silver one. Yeah,
it was. I was like doing it, but I mean, it made sense, and it was her. Yeah. It's her diet. She'd have been if she was in that tank, she'd have ate it.
Southeast Reef says, Alex, she doesn't feed it frozen leopard wrasse or anything, but you basically do actually. So
yeah.
Sorry, mate.
I was gonna say a similar thing happened with me, but it was just with an anemone a long time ago. I can't remember what fish it was, and I just thought, I'll just put that in there. And the same thing happened. The anemone ate the. It was like I think it was either a goby or a blenny. It was a long time ago. So it does feel different.
Yeah, it does, especially when it's a pet. Do you know what I mean? Then you're like, oh. But then I was, what was going to do? Wrap her up and put her in the bin.
Have you ever woken up next to the bobbit worm, like with it lying next to you in bed, sizing you up, seeing if it can eat you, like a snake does?
Yeah.
Does that happen?
Whispering sweet nothings into my ear.
Yeah.
It basically got fine dining that day. It was like, when you going to bring the good stuff
exactly
back?
Michelin star.
Yeah. So, I'm assuming that not all of your tanks get the same level of attention. So how much time do you reckon like each of your tanks would take? The reason I'm asking is because lots of people think that they want to have multiple tanks. I have multiple tanks. It's awful.
I mean, I've got multiple tanks, but they're all very different in the sense of like this one behind me, my biggest one, has got all my corals in it. So that's the one that I test. That's the one that I, when it comes, like I've got Hannah checkers and stuff. That's the one that I dose into. This one I do check as well, but not as much as that. Because this one's only got, I think it's got like sponges in it and stuff like that. But I've got anemones in there, not anemones, sea urchin. I've got a pencil sea urchin that likes to chow down, and it's been chowing down like crazy on all of them at the moment. So hardly any corals in that. So that's just mainly testing my phosphates on that one and making sure that they're not too high.
Your urchin eats corals?
Yeah, I've got a pencil urchin that just sits and eats my soft corals.
There's going to be a lot of things you're going to be Googling today, Alex, because we've not even started with the mantis shrimp or the clingfish.
Hey, that's weird. I've never seen them before. Where'd you even get that?
I got it from my shop. They go to they go to TMC, and it's Contact Pets and Deeside. They go to TMC, and the guy that works in the shop, Cal, he's like, going to TMC on Wednesday. I'll keep an eye out for some weird stuff for you. I'm like, don't do that. And then I go there and he's like, I've got something. Come and look at this. And he knows I'm going to take it home.
They had a really interesting crab there on Friday. I can't remember what it was, but I just when you say
I
that now,
think I saw one in Reef Keeper today. It was like a burrowing kind of thing.
It was. Was it white? Was sort of
I'd have that.
Yeah.
If I'd seen that, that'd be straight in my basket. But this urchin actually lived in my sump for a little bit because it was annoying me with everything.
Why do I think it's called it's a pebble crab? That's what they were called.
Pebble crab.
Show me.
I think that this is the sort of thing that you would like. When I saw it, I was like, "Yep, probably for you."
So pebble crab is not.
Oh, is that not the one that I?
That's not what I saw, but
okay,
because you can share your screen now, so you show me what.
I've closed it down now, so.
Okay.
but
it was cool. I instantly I was like, that's going to eat something that I don't want it to eat, but I was like, I kind of wanted it. But
Amy, this is why I've got my tank with all my expensive corals in and stuff, and then I've got this one that if there is something that isn't reef safe and I really want it, there's room in this tank for it.
There's like what's that fish over your left shoulder? Is that a box fish? It's swimming weird. Yeah, like just behind your head.
That's my box fisher.
Oh,
yeah.
That's corn. Yeah, I got him when he was the size of a piece of sweet corn, and now he's like this big. So he's doing really well.
They're not the easiest fish to keep.
No, I know. Well, I managed to get a cowfish from like this big to this big. So
it's is there anything that's special that you do, or is it literally just that you found a good specimen, which I think is
I found that the most varied diet that you can give it. There he is.
That's you.
Oh, there I am. That's corn. Yeah. I found giving a really varied diet. I used to go to like fishmongers. I'd go online and look at like online fishmongers and just get as much like shellfish, squid, anything like that I thought he'd like. I'd buy it, and I just used to give him a wide variety. I think that's what did it.
Do you worry about they supposedly have the ability to release toxins in a tank?
Yes.
I have had one die and go missing in a tank. This was a long time ago, and then the fish that people thought I was most well known for was also a box fish called Pablo.
Yeah.
He's still the logo of my channel.
Yeah.
I tested a prototype of a company for a powerhead, and I had him for 7 years. And then, unfortunately, when I put the prototype in, he got stuck to it. Otherwise, I'd probably still have him now.
Yeah.
But I never feared. I don't know if they do really. He basically, what I'm trying to say is he got stuck to it. So it was a bad way to die. And he still didn't release the toxin. So I don't know how true that is.
There are people online saying they've had them die and nothing's happened.
Yeah.
There is a very select few people that have said something's happened, or like maybe their fish started acting a little bit weird, because the toxins are in before it like got pulled out and stuff like that. With corn, I wouldn't be worried because he is quite small and it's quite a large water column. With Pickles though, my cowfish, when he started showing signs that something was up, I took him out and I filled up a big bin full of water, and he was in there because I thought I'm not taking the risk. Do you know what I mean? Some people say that if they live in captivity, they're not getting that. They don't know where they get the toxins from, whether they're making them in their body or whether they're like ingesting them. But I didn't want to take that risk. And because he was so big, I thought if he does release toxins, he's going to wipe the whole tank out.
Yeah.
So he went in a bin, and then he passed away that night then. But I knew.
Did he get fed to the bobbit worm?
Yeah.
I didn't have a bobbit worm at that time. No, I prepared and kept his skeleton. I've got his skeleton still.
Oh, really? Because it's like the same shape of the fish, isn't it? It's like
it's exactly the same.
Yeah.
Did you just let it dry out, or did you do something to it?
Do you really want to go into the details of what I did?
Yes, we do.
It
yes,
is
100%.
gross. It's gross.
I'm intrigued. So yes.
So I had a barrel with a lid. I put in a mixture of like water and bleach, just normal household bleach, and I left him in there for a couple of weeks. I then had to take him out, and all of his outside had gone, so it just looked like a skeleton, but all of his insides were in there, so I did have to wash them out, and it was
how did you wash them out?
And it was a big fish, and it was not nice. But I am happy I did it because now I've got his skeleton in a little.
What was the smell like on that?
I was covering when I was doing it. I was covering the sink in Soflora, that really strong smelling cleaner like you can get like different smells, but I had like a flowery smell one, and I just covered it. So I was really trying not to. But then when you're trying to wash it out and the water goes hot, that's the steam and stuff. It wasn't nice, but I am happy I did it because now I've got like this little momentum, big momentum of him. It sits in my bedroom on my windowsill, and it's in a cute little glass box. And
that's not on your Instagram, is it? I can't. Will I be able to pull that up?
No, it's not on my Instagram. I showed it on a TikTok once because people were asking, they wanted to see it, and they wanted to see because how big he was.
Yeah.
And I'd have to hold it like this, and he'd cover the whole thing. Yeah.
Before you came on the show, Alex and I said this could go any way. This live stream.
Now I'm talking about how I cleaned out my beloved.
This is exactly what I was expecting.
Yeah. So it's we had a feeling there were a few random things would come up. I understand keeping.
You did say, yeah.
Yeah, I understand keeping sort of like dead coral to some extent when you take all like if you bleach those because they're sort of like pretty. Also, like I used to sort of keep them to remind me of my failures, so that I can be better next time.
All the frags in there, like these are all the ones that died.
The problem was it became too many of them, so
yeah,
well,
too many failures.
That's not strictly true. Usually, what would happen is coral would come in, and sometimes, like on import, they would die in the box, and then I'd keep them. And I was like, actually, what's the point? Like, yeah. So, I've got enough living coral. Why do I need like? And then I actually started giving it to my niece, who collects shells and corals and stuff. So,
that's nice. Yeah,
I'm slowly but surely indoctrinating her into the hobby.
From dead ones to live ones.
Yes, although she has no interest in the actual fish, just the dead ones.
Nice.
So, what was I going to say? I wanted to ask you. Okay, so we asked you how to. No. Let's stick on your weird fish actually, because the next weird thing you have is a mantis shrimp.
He's not weird. He's beautiful.
It's pretty weird.
No, they're unusual. Firstly, they're not a fish, obviously, because I said weird fish, but they're an unusual thing for people to have. But again, there was one at TNC on Friday, so they're the sort of thing. I saw this video. He keeps back like hitting it, doesn't he?
Yeah. So he takes it in. So the reason I gave him a traffic cone is because that hole that he went out of that's usually closed up, and he'd been doing a bit of work opening it up. So I said, well, if you're going to be a man at work, you're going to need some safety precautions. Yeah, he's going to punch it now.
Do you have a 3D printer, or does someone send you these?
I have a friend called Prash, and he prints off everything that I could possibly want. So the other week I said to him, Prash, I want a little mini punching bag for my mantis. And he went and he designed it and he printed it off and he sent it to me. He's printed me off loads of different sea urchin hats. It pays to know people. But yeah, he understands that he's in the same mindset as me. Like I'll say something and he'll be like, yeah, I'm going to do that. So I've got loads of stuff from him.
There's an octopus that's about to go in.
Is this the octopus?
I think so.
No, this one is the punching bag, I think.
Oh, is it?
Oh, I thought you were a real one.
Yeah, the newest one is the punching bag.
What? So how did you come about owning him then? Because again, that's usually sort of a custom order sort of thing.
So I was working with Abyss, with the seahorses and stuff, and then I got a couple of seahorses, got the tank all set up, and realized that seahorses really weren't for me. They were so stressful, and I didn't want to be that person that
Ryan doesn't like.
I hate seahorses. They are the world's most ungrateful pet, bar jellyfish.
Bar jellyfish, yeah.
Yes.
I didn't want to be that person that was known on TikTok for killing seahorses. So they went back, and while I was there, I saw Ludo and thought, well, I've got this tank. Let's try it with him. I fell in love with him straight away. He came up to the glass and we were interacting and stuff. And brought him home, and it was the best decision I've ever made. He is the nicest little pet. I love him.
It looks like you can actually interact with him like properly.
Yeah. Like he's in my bedroom, so I didn't want him down here because there's a lot going on in this house. I didn't want him because obviously they can bash, and he does bash the glass sometimes. Not hard, and I'm not scared that he's going to break the glass. But I didn't want him down here getting tormented is what. So I put him in my room. So I'll come in after work and he'll come out and he'll look at me and I'll interact on the glass and stuff like that. I've only recently started putting things in his tank for him to touch and play with and stuff like that. So the little crown that I put in there and the traffic cone and stuff. And then recently, that was yesterday, I did the little punching bag for him. Now that didn't stay in because it was quite big and I didn't want him getting stressed about stuff in his own environment. Do you know what I mean? But yeah, I'll put the tweezers in and he touches them and he doesn't punch them. He's a very docile mantis shrimp, as docile as a mantis shrimp can get, I think.
See, I don't understand the bullet worm. I do understand this. I would have. Is he in a nano tank?
Yeah, 100 liters.
So that's actually quite big. For a shrimp, if you essentially. There's nothing else with him, I'm assuming.
No, and the good thing is with them is once they've got their burrow, that's their area. They very rarely, even in the wild, they very rarely leave that burrow. So as long as they've got a good enough burrow that they can travel in and out of and poke their heads out of either side and stuff, they don't need that much. Now I am looking at when I move out of here, I will be getting him a bigger tank, just so for me more than anything, because I want him to have a really big burrow and get more macroalgae in it and give him, a bit more room, but they really don't need it.
Can you put anything in with them? Obviously not fish and stuff, but is there anything you can put in with them that he won't?
So I've recently been talking about this because there are people online that there's one guy that has a little domino fish, the black with the white dot on it.
Not anymore. That domino fish has gone missing. Well, I've seen that.
But this is the thing though, people don't see that. And the reason he picks them domino fish is because they all look the same. So unless he's saying that one's dead, I bought another one, people will think it's the exact same one. Yeah. So I did a video and I said, because everyone was asking me, why don't you get him a friend? Why don't you put something in there? And I was like, because he will kill it. Just because that guy has got a fish in his, that ain't the original fish. Like, I'm going to hold your hand when I say this. It kills it. He's just buying a cheap new one. There's a reason why he's using that fish.
I feel like there's some beef here.
Oh, no, this is funny enough. This has been like this last week. It was because somebody different came up on my Instagram. This was, and he was putting in crabs that were like 3 times the size of his mantis shrimp. And it really grated on me because at the end of the day, that mantis shrimp is not seeing that as food. He's seeing it as a threat. And why would you want to put your fish your pet in that situation? I feed mine river shrimp and he still gets the fun of chasing them around, grabbing them, punching them, eating them without the stress of thinking
natural behavior, but
kill me and it's in my area and I need to defend myself. And this guy actually, one of the crabs that he put in got hold of his mantis shrimp and pulled off one of his punches, and then he showed a video of it dead in the tank. So
the crab or the mantis shrimp? The
mantis shrimp.
Oh really?
There was a video of it and he's like, oh, it's died and he's really sad. But I'm like, you tormented that to the point of death. Do you know what I mean? And then people are going, oh, your mantis shrimp is so docile, it's so nice. I could probably put my hand in there and be okay. I'm not going to. But I go in there and pick out the algae and stuff and he never goes for me. And I'm like, it's not that. It's just the fact that I don't make him fight for his life every week when he wants to eat, Yeah.
Is this right? Can you tell the difference between males and females?
Female, very docile, where I think Amy's yeah, so mine is a male, yeah.
Can you get him a girlfriend or will he try to eat her?
So I've just done a video on this as well, actually, because people are saying, well, why don't you get him a girlfriend? No, so in the wild, there are some mantis shrimp, the zebra shrimp, the zebra mantis shrimp, they will pair up and they will live together. They are like monogamous. Mantis shrimp, the peacock mantis shrimp, as a rule,
they are
wild,
cool.
They are cool, aren't they? They're
not
really
not as cool as the other one.
No, but that's still. Anyway, sorry, you were saying.
They're really cool, but they will pair up, male and female, and they will kind of live together. In the wild, peacocks will only pair up when they're breeding, so they will find each other.
Right.
They will lay their eggs. They will look after the eggs together, and then they go their separate ways. So, if I was to put a female in there, I'd need to find one that was the same size as him. Because if I put a little one in there, kill it.
It's a risk either way.
In itself, because he's pretty much fully grown. I'd have to do that, and it's his area. Do you know what I mean? That's always been his den, his personal space. So if I put something in there, there's a very high chance that he's going to kill it, because he doesn't want anything in it. And if they do pair up and they do lay eggs and do whatever, there is still that natural instinct that once that's done, they want to part.
Yeah.
So it could work. I could, if I could get 2 tiny baby ones and make them live together and put them in a huge tank and give them 2 separate areas. But they're solitary animals at the end of the day. They don't need anything. He gets all of his, I interact with him every single day. I feed him river shrimp and put little things in his tank. And
I've just seen how big. I don't know if this is probably a different type. It's a giant zebra mantis shrimp. It's like 3 feet long. Is
that a perception photo? Is that just because it's close?
Possibly, because when you look at, there are other photos and they're like a foot long, but
yeah, but he's holding them out all the way, isn't he?
And these, exactly.
That looks like a curved lens.
It's called a giant zebra mantis shrimp as well. So I think there's probably a specific type, and they're holding it close, but they're a foot long still, I bet.
Wow. Yeah, I don't think they're the ones you get that we get. We get smaller ones, I think.
It's interesting because you obviously put a lot of thought and into looking after it, more than I would say most. Like, a lot of people would think it was an invert. I know it's a massive invert compared to like a cleaner shrimp, but most people don't feel the same way about their inverts they do about their fish.
Yes, yeah.
Whereas,
but then you could say some people don't feel the same about their fish as they do their cats and dogs. I think it's
those people are idiots.
Yeah. I think it depends on the person. Some people see them as different things. Some people see them as and I see them all as the same.
Yeah.
What other pets have you got, by the way? Dry pets.
Dry pets.
Yeah.
So at my mum's now, we've got a pug and a Frenchie. So we've got Doug the pug, we've got Elvis the Frenchie, and there's a cat here called Gus, a little ginger. Well, I say little, he's big ginger cat. She's got chickens up the garden as well. But that's it. It's mainly my
pet. Sounds like a lot. I have one sausage dog, which is not mine.
Sausage dog? I didn't. What's it called?
It's not mine. It's my girlfriend's, but
it's still yours though. What's it called?
No, it's not still mine. No, this is a
It's called Dash.
It's called Dash, and he is my nemesis.
Oh, is he?
Yes.
He's a big fan of me, though, isn't he?
He's a very big fan of Alex. Yes, he a little bit too much of a fan of Alex. I'd say.
Likes to dry hump my leg when I go in.
Nice.
There's nothing dry about it as well. So.
All right, we'll move on.
Well, that was gross. Thanks, Ray.
But I've lost my train of thought now.
Oh, Tom's here. Tom says that he has a zebra and it was the size of his forearm.
There you go.
Is he definitely talking about the mantis shrimp? Because
I hope he said he had a zebra. Maybe it was just a zebra.
A zebra, cool. I mean, yeah, not for a zebra. What was I going to say? What else? Oh, actually, so this is just going to be. This is it basically. This is what the stream is going to be. Just chatting about random creatures. But we've got the usual sort of formatty type stuff. And Ryan was trying to bully Amy into doing a fish of the week.
Well, I wanted her week in reefing first, but
well, let's do that. What have you been up to?
What have I been up to? So I mean, you can go on my TikTok and see what I've been up to. I lost a fairy wrasse this week because my algae blenny eyebrows decided that he didn't like it. I'd had it for 2 weeks, absolutely fine, and then he just decided he was beating it up. I did take it out and put it in the sump for a little bit, but it stressed it out too much, I think.
I didn't realize algae blennies were that aggressive.
Mine eyebrows. Well, you know what? It's so funny. Some people were commenting like, I didn't know my algae blenny did that. And then other people will be messaging me like, my algae blenny killed everything. I can't put anything new in the tank anymore. Yeah.
The Flymo blenny, which I'm assuming they're probably similar type, was... When it was in the quarantine tank with some tangs and stuff like that, it was absolutely savage. It was attacking
it
was attacking like the gym tank when it was in the quarantine tank with it.
Yeah. I mean, he's only just in the last couple of months he's got like this. Usually he's been really, really nice to put anything in, like put my tiny little box fish in. But I don't know if it's his body type. So he sees this fairy wrasse that's quite long, and he's gone. And it's a rock sleeper, and I don't know whether there's been a bit of territory because he does have his little area that he sleeps. I don't know what happened there. He just decided he didn't like it, committed a crime, and then I lost her. And then now my sea urchin Boba is wearing a police hat because she is patrolling the area and making sure that he is behaving.
Like, you got like themed tank.
Yeah, it's like EastEnders going on in that tank.
It's because I asked you before the show. It's like, how do you think of content to do every day? And I just realized that you just make
it just happens.
3D printed thing.
I get the impression that if you didn't have TikTok, you'd be doing this stuff anyway.
Yeah,
that's true.
I just sit and stare at my tank and think, oh, I haven't filmed this fish in a while, or this has happened, or or people will ask a question and I'll do a video on that.
When you say it was a fairy wrasse, I think fairy wrasse is like an umbrella term for lots of different types of wrasse. Is that correct? I'm not very good with wrasse.
I have no idea.
Yeah.
I just wondered if you knew which type it was.
It had red and yellow on it. Nayoko.
Oh, really?
Alex had one of those.
Yeah.
I did, yeah. Yeah. Everyone loves them. Did yours do like
it was so sweet. I never saw it do that, but I put it in the tank and honestly, it just acted like it ate straight away. It acted like it had been in there for, that's the one.
That guy, yeah.
So pretty. Seeing it dashing around the tank, it was beautiful. But yeah, my algae blenny committed a crime.
Fairy wrasses I find they're quite difficult to keep with a lot of other things because they're like the wimps of the saltwater world because almost everything else will play them.
Yeah,
I feel like they wind fish up as well. So I used to have one that it was really quite showy. He was always showing off, and I got the impression that like that some of the tangs and like the other fish didn't like it, and they kind of because he started getting chased, and they were like, "All right, mate, you've got to stop doing that. I don't like it." So,
well, that's what they're displaying. I'm assuming that's where they so maybe it is annoying the other fish.
Yeah. They're cool though. I want an Nayoko again. I'm going to get one at some point.
I'm going to stay clear of it now. I'm not putting any more fish in with him. I'm not risking it.
No, but that's the thing. When you've been burnt, it's actually quite upsetting, isn't it? You don't want to risk it.
Yeah, I was gutted. I was so gutted.
It's when something like that happens. I'm assuming you publish it, do you, on your channel? Like, you speak pretty freely about it now, so I'm assuming you do.
Yeah, so I'm very like. If I make a mistake, I talk about it. If something goes wrong, I talk about it. If a fish dies, because if I don't show it, people will start asking about it, and then I think, well, I might as well nip it in the bud. Do you know what I mean?
Do you ever get sort of like negative response to that? Because you're exposed to literally so many people.
Yeah. I am very lucky in the sense that my following and my platform is very positive. Okay. And I think that is probably due to the fact that I am very open and honest. And I always say, like, I always make, I make mistakes and I don't just brush it off. Do you know what I mean? I come on and I say, something has happened. This is what's happened. If I can rectify it, I'll say, this is what I'm going to do next. With the fairy wrasse, I explained I'd had it for a couple of weeks. The other fish are taking a dislike to it. I'm probably not going to get another wrasse in that tank just in case it happens again. And you do get the odd person. Like, I got a comment the other day and they were like, oh, a fish are always dying. And I'm like, I haven't had a fish die in ages. Do you know what I mean? Like, and when you've got this many fish and this many weird fish, you do get deaths. Some of them are quite specific in their diet or need, I've got pipefish and stuff. So I do have a lot of, you find that the weirder fish are the more sensitive fish.
Yeah, because not everyone has them, and there's usually a reason that not everyone has them.
Yeah, exactly. So,
how's the clingfish doing? Because that is like a weird.
Yeah, I've never seen one.
Alex is having to Google what these are.
I've heard of a clingfish.
Really
that is
cool.
not what
and
I
you
thought
can tell
it
if
was.
they're male and female as well. The clingfish. So that's the little black and white striped one. No, I've got one of them. That's called Bugly. I've got one of them.
I didn't know you had one of those. It's the black and white one there. Like your mouse was over, up, there, up, there.
Oh,
up.
That thing.
Yes.
Oh,
yeah, that one.
Horrible.
Yeah. So they're only little, and they're sea urchin clingfish. So they will stay in.
Really?
They host the really spiny black
long spine. That is so cool. Yeah,
they host that. So they haven't started hosting yet, but I got mine off Tom Mantis Reef. He sent me a spiny urchin last week to see if we could get him to pair up, and I think he's going to send me a male. There it is. Yeah, so I think he's going to send me a male to see if we can get them to pair up as well.
I think I commented just going, "Why am I not surprised when I saw?"
Yeah.
Because
actually, just interrupting just for a sec, because you said that Amy is exposed to like more people than most, right?
Yeah.
We're talking, what is it, 1.1 million followers on TikTok, right?
1.1 million at the moment.
So that's vast.
I try not to think about
it. Yeah. Sorry, Ryan, you were saying.
Oh, sorry. I can't remember. I've lost my train of thought.
Clingfish.
Clingfish. There's another fish which sort of like hang upside down. I can't remember the name.
Are they the crocodile pipefish?
No, they're
Oh, are they the iridescent ones? We saw them in TMC, didn't we?
Yeah, they called like reed fish, maybe. I don't know.
Oh yes, you see them at public aquariums,
TMC when we went there.
I'm like, that's the sort of thing that you'd like.
Problem is, they look well delicate. They look like one wrong look at them and they're going to snap in half.
More delicate than that clingfish. That clingfish barely exists. It's like a smudge.
It does look, and it was tiny as well. Bless it, it is tiny.
But does it? I wanted to ask about your mantis shrimp just quick because I forgot to ask. It's going to be a little bit all over the place, I think.
That's fine. Don't worry. I like that.
You feed it river shrimp, but does it eat normal? If you put mysis in there, will it eat it, or is it very?
I think mysis are probably too small for it. I wouldn't feed it like frozen food, which you've just reminded me. I put the food up there and then I forgot to give it to him, so I might just like creep away in a minute and just like lob it in. I feed it river shrimp. I'll feed it raw king prawns, so I'll cut a little bit off and give it that.
Yeah.
Feed it cockles.
So it doesn't have to be live then?
No, it doesn't have to be live. Very rarely. I feed him live my local fish shop hasn't had any river shrimp in. I wanted to get them last week. They're hoping to get a delivery on Friday. Yeah. But no, I feed him either 2 or 3 times a week.
Yeah.
As they get older, you feed them less and less. And I'll feed him cockles, prawns.
I just wondered. I wonder if it was a like a finicky eater, but obviously, because it would have surprised me.
No, he's not finicky. I could put anything in there and he'll eat it. Anything meaty.
They have I'm not great with facts. There are no facts here, as always. But I believe they have the best eyesight in the world because don't they have like 12 pupils?
Yeah, not 12 pupils. So we've got 3 color cone receptors. We can see red, yellow, and blue. They all mix together. They have 12, so technically they can see more colors than we can comprehend. Even like ultraviolet light, they can see that. They can see. I can't remember the other one.
Trinocular vision, apparently.
Yeah.
Also, no, they have 3 pupils, don't they, on each eye?
They're not. Well, yeah, they are. They look like pupils. They're not. I can't remember the name of them, but they're not classed as pupils. They're not like pupils as we have pupils.
Yeah.
They're like pupils as in like they're very closely related to like bees and insects. Their eyes, but there is talk of whether or not they can actually see all of the colors, whether their brain can like comprehend it and stuff like that.
I'm not sure how you give a shrimp an eye exam.
Well, exactly. But their eyes, the way that their eyes work, it has been used in like cancer research and stuff like that.
Yeah, really.
To like detect cancer. Yeah.
You said we were going to bounce around all over the place. Razorfish is what those things are.
They're the ones. They're so stupid looking. But don't they look like you could like break them in half? Like they look well delicate. And if I put them in there, Eyebrows is going to make a feast out of them.
Do you ever? I'll finish with the mantis shrimp in a minute, just because this is my last. I believe they punch so hard that it creates a bubble. Is that correct?
That's hotter than the surface of the sun or something.
Apparently, yes.
Yeah.
It's called something. There's a specific type of. It's called. Someone in the chat will say it's a type of bubble.
Mantis reefs will say, yeah.
It basically, I think it creates like a vacuum or something. It's so fast.
Does your tank run at like 4,000 degrees centigrade then?
Yeah, because it pushes in, like the little sensors going off like it's well hot
in it. But there you go. A cavitation bubble. There you go. See, at least there's one person here who knows what we're talking about, because it's certainly not us. What was I saying? Oh, that was the other thing I was going to say. Do you never get the desire just to have a normal fish? I know you've got like an algae blenny, but like just a yellow
clownfish.
Yeah,
I've got. What else have I got in there?
I get the feeling.
I've got hawkfish. They're normal.
I get the feeling though the clownfish you've probably had for ages.
One of my first ones, I got Nemo and Emo because I wanted a black clownfish.
Yeah, actually, I got a new clownfish on Friday. So I think Alex showed previously, and I think you've seen the special clownfish I got, which was half black and half white.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I saw it on your TikTok.
Alex,
what did you think about it, Amy?
I thought it was well cool. At first, I thought it was photoshopped.
No, Alex hates
really
it.
Cool.
He literally hates it. I don't know why he hates it, but he hates it. And it's really, really difficult.
I think it's so cool, although it does look a bit deformed. I'm not gonna lie. Like, what's going on with its face?
Yeah, it does have that sort of like bulldog face from tank bred fish.
Yeah, yeah.
But
is it
face like a smacked ass?
Is it all right? Like, are its gills flared?
Oh yeah, no, it doesn't have the gill cover issue.
Oh, there you go. Then it's fine.
Yeah, it literally just has silver. And to be fair, that picture looks worse than it does when you see it.
I think that's so cool. Like, that'd be something that I'd want.
But I thought the difficulty was, it's like, how do you find a fish to pair up with it? Because I even spoke to ORA in America, which is where it came from, and said, look, have you got any more of these? Because I want something to go with it. And they said that was the only one. I'm surprised they didn't keep it to breed it. They probably have their own.
Yeah, I was thinking that.
But then I found, I thought to myself, well, so when I bought it, I walked around. It was in a bucket. And I walked around with all the other clownfish that were there. Like, which one of these will go with it? And I just was like, no, none of these suit it. And then on Friday, I was like, I found one that I think goes with it. And I've sent Alex a picture of it. I don't know if he's got it up. We're giving you a lot of jobs to do today, aren't we? It was sold to me as a black storm, but it looks more like just a Dalmatian. I know it's not. I don't think there's such thing as a Dalmatian clownfish, but I didn't want it where it had loads and loads of black on it. So I think together they actually pair up pretty well.
That's a very pretty one as well.
What was, because I don't know if that is a black storm. It was as I say, it was charged to me as a black storm. But interestingly, I've paired up clownfish probably like, I don't know, 20 times before. People often give me clownfish. They go, I'm shutting my tank down. No one's the clownfish. Will you just take them? So at one point I had loads of pairs in the coral farm, and I paired them up, and they've always been fine. These two were absolutely savage with each other. I put them in, and I'm not joking. I'd never seen two fish like hate each other more. And I thought, this is not going to work. So what I did is I thought, well, I haven't really got anywhere else for it to go at the moment because it's in the quarantine tank. I took it out, I put it back into a fish bag and left it in the fish bag overnight. I put oxygen in there and everything, so it was going to be fine. They were literally like ramming the bag. They hated each other so much. And then the next morning I let it out because they stopped doing that. I let it out and they're completely fine. They're like best friends again now.
Have they paired up now, do you reckon?
I think it'll probably be a couple of days. They're doing that, the thing with the little clown.
Oh, the dancing. Oh, I love it when they do the little dance.
The thing is, they both do it. Normally the male does it to the female. At the moment, they both do it to each other. And it's like, which one of you is the male?
I think they're probably just working it out, aren't they?
Yeah.
Working out who's going to be the one.
I hope the unusual one ends up being the female. Like, the half and half one. I hope that. So
do you want that one to be the female?
I want that one to be to grow large. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. So sorry, Alex.
No, all good.
You look tired now, Alex.
My eyes are so red. Are
we boring you?
No, you're not boring me. No, so I spent Friday and Saturday. I was on my motorbike the entire 2 days, 800 miles through France and Belgium. So I'm bloody knackered, and I had no windscreen, so it just wind blast the whole time. But anyway, what someone asked about Hass's garden eels. Ryan hates these. I feel like you'll be.
I love them. They are fantastic little creatures. Probably you need like a really big sandbed for them, don't you? So they can go in. But I would love a tank that just looks like that and they're all sticking out. I would love that.
Because they like bob up and down and stuff, don't they?
Yeah, that's right up my street.
They don't do a lot. They're one of those fish that you see occasionally, like once every 5 years, and then you just never see them again. And I just wonder why is it because no one wants them? Like, when was the last time you saw one? That's
niche, isn't it? You can't put them in a normal reef tank or whatever.
Yeah. I've never seen them in the fish. I've seen them in like aquariums, but I've never seen them in a fish shop.
They had them in a Maidenhead. It's the Maidenhead's closed down now, and that closed down probably like 7 years ago. So that was the last time I saw them. But when they're set
up in a proper tank with the substrate,
they filled half the tank with sand. But the thing was, they wouldn't come out. So you were told they were in there, but
you can see the holes, but you just can't see them.
But they wouldn't come out. And I think unless they're in like a really peaceful environment, or then again, when they're in the
I
public
definitely
aquarium.
saw when I started the hobby, there was a Maidenhead near me. I can't remember which one it was, but they had a tank of garden. Chichester it was. I'm sure they had a load of garden eels, and they were just so, and they were always out. They were so cool.
Maybe they were unhappy.
You're wrong on this one, right?
No, look, I as I said, they're not for me. I don't like fish that are super restrictive. Like anything
yeah. I think the reality of them might not be as cool as watching them for 5 minutes.
Would you get a mantis shrimp?
Would
Knowing
I?
that you wouldn't be able to put anything else in it. Yeah. Would you get?
I actually was. There was one the other day, and I was thinking about not buying that one, but
You were thinking about getting one.
Like,
they are fantastic little pets. I'd never be out without one now.
I feel like
a mantis tank.
I feel like I want a nano tank for some reason, and I don't know why, because I hate nano tanks. And it's well known that I hate nano tanks.
Yeah.
But part of me wants a frogfish, and I think the reality of owning a frogfish and the thought of owning a frogfish are two very different things.
Yeah.
I think the thought is going to be this really cool fish, and the reality is you have a rock in your tank.
You have a rock that when you feed it, you'll see it react, but other than that, they're just in one spot, aren't they? It's kind of like Pookie. She's nocturnal. I never see her unless it's nighttime, and I come down and turn the light on, and I can see her out, and then she scuttles back in.
I've just Googled the how long mantis shrimp live. They can live up to 20 years, apparently. Is that right?
Yes. I only found this out recently. I don't know why. I assumed they only lived up to 5 years because that's what shrimp, but they're technically not shrimp, are they? But
what is it? Is it a crab?
I think they're more closely related to spiders than they are shrimp. I don't know. I think so. But yeah, and somebody asked me, and I said, I think it's around 5 years. And that was just me going off assuming that other creatures live that long. Yeah, and then I Googled it and I was like, I've got this big boy for ages, which I'm quite happy about, to be honest, because I do love him.
Yeah.
It would have been sad if I'd have been losing him soon, but yeah.
So in answer to your question, I have too many tanks as it is, if I'm honest, to deal with.
Never.
But I have tanks with regards to cleaning. I've got 18 tanks, I think, if you include the quarantine system.
Just sick.
But in the coral farm, I think I've got 8. And then I've got the one in the house. So that's 9 tanks. I know you only have to do 3 water changes and 3 sets of tests because they're connected, but there's still a lot of glass cleaning. It takes me 2 hours. And it's 2 hours once a week. Yeah. Someone needs to invent a. I know they've thought about it before, an automatic glass cleaner,
like a Roomba, the floor one, but for tank. Oh my god, I'd love that.
I like how she just tried to explain a Roomba to me. So you know how you.
Yeah.
Oh, don't start! I've been waiting for
10 of them.
I have 2. So I have a Roomba and a mop. I'm like the laziest person.
Nice, I love that.
But
do they actually? Do you still have to mop and hoover?
No, they're on a podcast.
Oh,
thank you.
Bring her on. Bring her on.
Yeah, get her on.
I did warn everyone beforehand.
Do I still have to mop and hoover? No, never. Oh,
really? Okay, interesting.
So
sorry, this has just become like Hoover Dork all of a sudden.
Yes, it's about cleaning.
Yeah.
I anyone who thinks about getting a Roomba, it's the best thing you'll ever buy.
Okay.
Anyway.
Algae scrapers, you were saying.
Yes, if there was an algae scraper. There was actually one. When I was at Interzoo in 2018, someone had invented an algae scraper that was an automatic one.
I don't think it'd be that hard, would it?
It was called Robo Snail. I don't know if they're still around. And
somebody commented that before. They made a Robo Snail. Pajama Reef said it.
Yeah, and then someone else, I think it was MOAI, is what it was, and they did a Kickstarter, and I think they took I think it was fulfilled, but they never made it. So I don't know what happened with that either. I think it's the biggest issue. Imagine if you get sand under it and it goes.
Oh.
Yeah. And it can only do one panel, so you'd need a robot for each panel.
Yeah, true.
Yeah,
true. Or I could just hire someone. That would probably be better.
It takes 5 seconds.
It does. It takes me 2 hours to clean the glass.
Oh, that's because you didn't plan the thing properly, did you?
Yeah, someone said, didn't it pick up all the sand and scratch it badly?
Yeah, I bet it did.
Is there anything else that you'd like to cover on? Is there any weird fish that you haven't got yet that you do want?
Weird fish. Ooh. To be honest, it's very much a case of I go into my local fish shop.
Yeah.
The guy knows what I like. He goes to TMC, sees something and goes, she'd like that, whether it's a crab or a creature or a fish or whatever. I go there and I'm like, I'm literally just here to get some frozen food or some river shrimp or something. And he's like, come with me. I've got something to show you. That's what happens to most of my pets. And then he'll tell me a little bit about it. I'll then go back to my car, do my research, figure out if it's going to be suitable. And then I'll go back in and go, put it in the bag, for crying out loud. Yeah.
If you ever see Amy sitting in her car outside of a fish shop, you know she's about to make an impulse buy. There's
a thing on my TikTok. So if I'm in my car, people will see it and they'll know I've got a fish because I'll sit in my car and introduce it. That's my thing. So I'll go, I'm in my car, and everyone will go, she's got another fish.
So there's nothing specific, even if it's not a weird fish, there's nothing you go, I really, really want that.
Ooh.
It can be anything. I would love a bandit angel, for example. I know this, just to go with like it's something you don't see very often. You can only get them from Dijon, because they're from Hawaii. They are crazy expensive, so I will never own one. But yeah, that to me.
They're funny looking.
Amy's just added that to her list.
I like that. I'm trying to think, what are the ones with the really big eyes and they've got like a leopardy kind of print on them?
Leopard
Somebody will know what I'm
big
talking
eyes.
about.
Big eyes are usually like squirrelfish or Banggai cardinals.
Squirrelfish, that's it.
Yeah.
I like squirrelfish. I like the look of them, but I don't think they'd be suitable, so I haven't got any of them. But I do like a squirrelfish.
I feel like a pajama cardinal might be,
I would like to get a pair of Bengals or a pair of pajamas, and see if I can get them to mouth brood. I like the idea of that.
You will be able to. I used to breed them pretty regularly, and raise the fry. The fry is more difficult to raise, although if you've got your jellyfish tank, you'll be able to do it pretty easy.
If you've got your long spine urchin with your little clangfish.
I know what I'm doing.
Then the clangfish will eat the Banggai cardinal baby. So,
But then I don't know can you tell if they're male or female? Do they change? Like
you can do. It is possible. You've got to know what you're looking for. And
Right, I'll be researching that this week because I would love, and I've got room in that tank that I could put.
It's happening.
If you want them,
but I would like to try that. My sexy shrimp were giving off babies this week. Watched it.
Really?
Yeah, watched it. It was like pushing them out, and they were tiny, little ones. And I'm watching them and I'm filming it, and then my little candy pipefish comes in and just starts eating them. So people always go, "Oh, where do they go? Where will they live in your tank?" And I'm like, "Well, you've just seen now why little creatures don't live in tanks very long."
You have a candy pipefish as well. You really do have some like unusual.
Yeah. So I did have. They were lovely. I had 2 snake pipefish, and they were the white ones.
I've got those.
They are more. They're called snake because they stay along the bottom.
Yeah.
They were lovely. They were paired up. They were beautiful little creatures, eating really well. But then when I moved the tanks, I think because they are very sensitive. When I moved them, the white one. Yeah, them. I had 2 of them, and they were so sweet. But when I moved the tank, I think it was too much for them, and they passed away shortly after I'd set it back up here. Do
you know that they're toxic as well? They're similar to a boxfish. They have the same ability to release a toxin.
Oh, really? Well, I was lucky in the fact that I found them, and they died within like a couple of hours with each other. So I don't know what happened, but I took them out straight away.
I have a broken heart.
I was going to say the same thing.
Because one of them died, and then I saw the other one, and I was like, "Oh, it's lost its partner," and then that one died, and I did think, "Oh God."
Oh no, I got to feed it to my bobbit worm. Oh no.
See, those are similar to seahorses. They get through the. I hate seahorses. I actually really like pipefish. I don't know why.
Yeah, they're very similar.
I think they move around a lot more.
They move around a lot more.
They do. Yeah, they do. They've got more personality, and they'll come up when you're feeding and stuff. So yeah, I've got a candy pipefish, and then I've got a couple in. I've got a pair in this one and a pair in this one of the the little orange and blue striped ones.
Yeah,
they're only quite small, and they're really cool. And I think they're a bit hardier than most of them.
Yeah.
So they're quite a good pipefish to start with.
what other things do you have that so I didn't know you had that pipefish. So what other things do you have that would surprise people?
I have one of the little pom-pom crabs that hold the anemones.
Oh yeah.
Got one of them. He's called Captain because he's the captain of the cheerleading squad because he's got his little pom-pom.
This is how you become big on TikTok. You find weird names. You get creative names for unusual fish. What's the clingfish called?
The clingfish is called Pencil because it was I've got my pencil urchin called Sharpie, and then I've called my new spiny one Quill. So they're all like based around. I was going to call it Felt Tip Pen, but I thought that's a bit of a mouthful, so I called it Quill instead. Yeah. What was the question? What did you want to know? More? What else have I got?
What other? Yeah, I just think you sort of like make your own path in this hobby. I think a lot of people follow the same path. They get clownfish, some sort of zebrasoma tang, a couple of gobies or a Blenheim weather. Whereas I feel like you just go, I don't give a shit what anyone else is doing. I'm going to do whatever I want.
I mean, I got into this hobby because I wanted to learn about it, and I wanted to be able to do my own thing. That's just me, I think. I've always wanted to do that. And if I see something and I know I can look after it and I can check to make sure that I can give it the right care and stuff, then if I can enjoy it, I'm going to enjoy it and then let everybody else enjoy it.
Is there anything that hasn't worked out for you?
The seahorses didn't work out, but they were very fun. I know you don't like them. They were very, very finicky. Yeah. What else hasn't really worked out for me?
Have you ever had any like those orange spot file fish?
No, I wanted one, and I came so close to getting one, and was told about is it acros that is their main diet?
Yes,
well, supposedly.
Yeah. So I would love one.
You can feed them. So Serious Reefs have started doing guides on these guys, and you can feed them mastic. Apparently, you put it on a stick like a acrylic rod or whatever, and then it just sits in the middle of the tank, in the middle of the water column. And apparently that replicates their natural. I don't know what they're eating in the wild, but apparently they'll start eating mastics, and it's just the little stuff you put in your cupboard.
One of my customers has one, and she does really well with it.
Really
so, but
she feeds it?
I think she feeds like 6 times a day. I think it eats mysis and stuff like that, and whatever it can find in the tank. It doesn't eat coral.
The one that I'd seen was eating it was eating frozen and everything. Yeah. But looking into it, if it doesn't get them macros, no matter what you feed it and how well it is eating, if it doesn't get the macros, it will have an early death. It's just, I don't know why. I've heard the same with frogfish. Frogfish are really hard to keep in because people are feeding them. People feed them like mollies and stuff like that, and they need saltwater fish.
Yeah, it's they get something called fatty liver disease. It was a big thing for those, and also lionfish. And this was in the old days when people would just throw tame goldfish in, let the lionfish eat
and
them.
Just let them go crazy. Yeah, but that's not their normal diet. They're not saltwater fish, are they?
But I don't know if it is still a problem if you feed them silver sides, which I'm assuming are saltwater fish.
Yeah, they are saltwater. Yeah.
I only know about pretty fish. If it's ugly, I don't know about it. So
yeah, I love it. Like I said, I've got one of them. Like it just looks like a black blob with a tail, and it sticks to the glass.
I've never even seen one of those.
What is this? Sorry, I switched off for a second.
So when you were looking at the clingfish, a picture of one came up, but that wasn't a clingfish. I call it a suckerfish. I don't know I can't remember what it is now. I knew at the time. But that's called bugly because it's ugly. I love it. And it comes out of nowhere. And
if anyone wants to rehome any fish that no one else wants, I think everyone's realised who to talk to.
I'm your girl.
Alex is just. I'm just looking.
I'm not. I can't find it, but yeah, you've got some weird stuff on your Instagram.
Hold on, wait. Let me find it.
I can only see. I haven't got TikTok, so I can only see on Instagram. So
we've
I don't know if I put it on there.
Yeah,
we're going to move over to coral in a minute because we've mainly covered obviously how you feel about different fish.
Yeah.
Where are you at with coral?
Coral's a new thing for me. So obviously, when I started, I was all about fish and my little creatures and stuff like that, and then slowly I got into like your usuals, your Kenya tree, your pulsing xenia, like sponges and stuff like that. Kept them, and then it was only really after Aqua last year and seeing them all there. I'll tell a lie, I got a hammer. When I first started, I got a hammer, and it's still alive. It's in the middle, right there, that green thing. It's still there. And it's got like six heads now, and I got it when it was like tiny. And I've just kind of grown from there. And then, like I said, with that, with DBME, when I joined on that, when I won my tank, obviously they are all about corals. So I learned a lot just reading the chat and seeing what was on there. I know you sent me some, didn't you, Ryan? You sent me a little care package of different corals and stuff.
Yeah, a mystery box a little while ago, didn't you?
Yeah. All the ones that you gave me when we went to Love to Reef, they're all alive still. I'm doing something good.
It's a sign of someone who's not overly confident about coral when they go, it's still alive. Good.
No, I look at corals and I go, that'd look fantastic. That'd be great for me to kill. You know, I look at them and I go, I'm going to kill that. That looks like someone I would kill. But yeah, so I built myself up, and it's recently in the last couple of months, I've started checking, like, I was always checking my phosphates because I had a massive cowfish. So I had to keep an eye on that. Yeah. But like my alkalinity, dosing all for reef, and my nitrates, and making sure I write everything down now and make sure they're in the right spot. So because I have got some expensive corals that I've either acquired myself or like people have asked me to take and do videos on and stuff like that. So it got to the point where I was like, right, I need to really like look into this, and that's only been the last couple of months really, but I'm getting there.
People are usually sort of like a fish person or a coral person. I have a feeling you're probably more of a fish person.
I am more of a fish person, but I do like the way that corals look. I like torches. I really like the way torches, and I love a gonny.
They're asking for trouble.
It's one of my favorites. So I've got my torches, and I've got some gonnies and stuff like that, and like random bits and bobs. But
I didn't actually ask, how long have you been doing this for? As in, like, how long have you been a saltwater fish keeper, and how long have you kept coral for then?
Right, so I said at the beginning, I think I started at the back end of COVID, like the last year of COVID. So like
2020,
5 years ago.
Okay.
I started corals properly. So I've had like a hammer here and there. Like I said, I've still got my hammer. That was pretty early on. Properly, it's only probably been since the beginning of the year that I've really got into like making sure that I know what I'm doing with them and that they're happy, and the color and the, you know, getting the lights right and stuff like that.
One of my customers is like the coral version of you, where he only wants weird, hard to keep corals. So there is a whole range of things that you could have.
But then that's like me with fish, isn't it?
That's what I mean. He's like you, but with corals.
Yeah.
So don't you worry. I can start selling you weird corals soon if you want. I now know how to like sell you stuff.
Yeah, you're like, look how weird this is.
I'm like, this is weird. It probably will die, and it needs a lot of attention. And you're like, yeah, I'm in.
Can't wait to kill that.
But do you know where you're looking? Actually, I wanted to ask how you got into TikTok, because I know you said about how you got into fish, but how did you like? Everyone usually has a journey of how they got into something. Like, what made you one day go, I'm going to do this?
So my TikTok, if you scroll all the way back to the absolute beginning, TikTok is me and my little sister doing dances in COVID and being stupid.
Everyone goes back to the beginning.
Yeah, don't scroll all the way back. That's what it started as. I then my first viral video wasn't on my fish. It was on one of my mum's chickens. She had a cockerel called Brian, and it used to chase me, hated me. And I'd go up the garden, collect the eggs, and it'd chase me all the way back down. And if it got you, it hurt. So I filmed it once of me like screaming as it's like going for me. And that was my first viral video. And
when
then
you say viral, what are we talking?
I think it got about 200k views on that.
Okay.
Which was like absolutely incredible, like for somebody that didn't do it, like amazing. And then it was my first viral fish video was I just set up my tank. I got the usuals. I got my orange clownfish. I had my cleaner shrimp. I had firefish at the time as well, and I did a video saying I am getting my clownfish a goth girlfriend, and showed the black clownfish and said I'm calling it emo. So I've got Nemo and emo. That went viral, and then it so happened that I enjoyed making the videos on it, whether people were watching or not, and I just kind of carried on. And from that carrying on, it's just kind of snowballed from there, really.
I'm just scrolling through your Instagram.
Don't go back to the beginning.
Go back to the beginning.
It's me and my little sister in our jammies in the
this is Instagram, not.
Oh, Instagram. That's fine then. Yeah,
I tried to sign up for TikTok, but they said I was too old. They wouldn't let me in. So. But yeah, there's 7.5 million, and it's you holding a 3D printed plunger next to an urchin.
Yeah. Yeah, because I put a plunger on her head.
Right. There you go. And people talk about Nemo and Nemo.
I've tried doing TikTok. It's too complicated.
You just tried re-uploading your YouTube videos.
No, to be fair, I did actually try to make some short. Like I think I tried once about just me feeding I typed it. This is me feeding my 3,000-pound fish because I thought that's the sort of thing people will click on.
That's the sort of thing that people want to see.
And I did film it in the same way of a YouTube video where I sort of edited, but it was only a minute long, but no one was interested. And I was like, right.
But that's the thing. But I tried the same. So there was a time a couple of years ago, maybe, when Danny's Aquarium started doing a load of YouTube shorts, and his channel went crazy because of that. He was getting loads of views on the shorts, and he was getting loads of subscribers off it. I was like, how hard can it be? Turns out it's quite difficult. I tried about 4 or 5 videos. They absolutely sucked. But it's because the first time you do anything, you're rubbish at it.
It's about personality, I think, Alex. And I'm not, you ain't got it.
Sorry, so how did you get on mine? Sorry.
I ain't got it.
I think it's hard for somebody that does long form to go short form and vice versa. Because if I had to start filming long videos and go onto YouTube, I wouldn't know what I was doing, because obviously I edit everything in the TikTok app. I do everything in the TikTok app. So if I then had to move and film it and edit it on different stuff, I wouldn't enjoy that as much, because I enjoy the fact that I can film my fish and do the video and get it out, and then, and film stupid videos really quickly.
You're assuming that everybody on YouTube uses sophisticated editing equipment. Ryan.
You're always holding your phone.
Yeah. It is. Yeah. Every single video for my entire channel was made on my phone and my iPad. That was it. Just using the standard.
Did you edit? Where did you edit it?
On iMovie on the iPad.
Did you on iMovie?
Like literally every single. People were shocked when they realized that that's what I've done. My older videos were much more like detailed and like thought was put into them. Yeah. But yeah, they were surprised that those one was filmed on my phone, and I reckon you could probably tell now. I think some of the footage is probably dated. Like the cameras have got a lot better.
Yeah, the cameras have got better and people recognize it.
But if it's difficult to do, I'm not doing it. It's as simple as that.
That's why I like TikTok, because if it was difficult to do and I had to jump through hoops and do loads of different stuff, like I said before, when we were chatting, the hardest thing I have to do, or the longest thing that takes me to do, is the captions. Yeah. I go through and I make sure it's picked them all up correctly and there's no spelling mistakes. Or
I don't even know how you do that. I don't know.
The more you go into it, I mean, you can't break it. You know what I mean? You can't break TikTok. So there's loads of different tools and stuff like that you can add stuff. And
I think you've got to be into it. You must be into TikTok as well. You must enjoy watching other.
A couple of weeks ago, you know how your phone like calls you out and it's like, you spent this long on.
Yeah.
I'd spent 25 hours in a week.
In a day, yeah. Like...
in a day, yeah. In a week. Yeah. And but that's because as well.
On TikTok or on your phone?
I can't remember, but I think it was TikTok. I'm not gonna lie. I think it was TikTok. But I always use the excuse of, but I'm scrolling through, I'm looking what's trending, I'm getting ideas, I'm commenting, I'm checking my comments and stuff like that and chatting with people. So, it's my job, isn't it? So if you think
that's interesting, because that's
the job that you do,
it's
not much.
That's the other thing that will mean you're successful in whatever social media you do, is you're watching what's trending, you're kind of thinking about what you should be making.
Yeah, exactly.
You can do the same on YouTube. But if you're lazy like me and Ryan, you're just like, oh, I'll just make a video about my clownfish with a weird face.
I got a video idea now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Good.
But so you actually
clownfish or bulldog.
Yeah. There you go. That's it.
But did your channel, so was it like a slow growth, or was it like there was like one video and it all just went shot up? Because you don't get a million people.
Funny, especially at the beginning when I started, it'd be slow, and then you'd go viral, and then in the night you'd wake up and you'd have 10,000 more followers because people have seen that video and they want to follow you. I don't see it as much now because I've got quite a few now. But honestly, it used to it'd go slow. I'd get a viral video. It'd just go crazy.
Yeah.
I think within 1 week I got about 75,000 followers because I'd gone viral like twice in that week or something like that.
That's my entire channel.
I know.
Yeah, I got it in a week. Well, that's the thing about TikTok. Like, it's crazy. It's so much easier to
some videos get loads and loads of views, but they don't translate into followers. So some of my videos had 200,000 views, but I don't have 1 million followers. So like those 200,000 people were bored basically of mine. But so did you find that some of the view is a view on TikTok someone scrolling? Does that count as a view?
Yeah, so like you could be scrolling your FYP and your For You page and it'll it throws out loads of stuff. Do you know what I mean? You'll get a cow in a field dancing, and then the next thing is a car flying across the road, and then the next thing is a kid singing. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So so that equates. If you go onto your analytics, you can see how many people have watched it and how long they've watched it for.
Yeah.
So you can kind of tell if it's been pushed onto the For You page of people that want to watch it. So like they've watched one of your videos before and TikTok has said, actually, they're going to like this. Or if it's a good video and it's captivated people, you can definitely see that from a video that people just scroll past.
What are you like at predicting what does well? Because I find it really difficult to know.
It's
what
so
will do
hard.
Well on YouTube.
At the moment, my mantis shrimp videos are doing really, really good. People are really enjoying him, and I'm really enjoying doing the videos and stuff like that on him, and they are doing really good. Like my Sunday hat changing videos used to do really good. Now they've kind of like dipped a little bit, but then I'll do one and it'll go massive again. Do you know what I mean? It is really hard. Some videos I'll do. I can't remember what video it was. I did a video and I was like, this is going to do numbers. This is like so good, and it completely flopped. And then there's other videos where I think I literally spend a second filming, and they do really well. You never know. You really never know.
So they do well? Like if it doesn't do well in the first week, is that it's dead, or can it pick up?
Pretty
over
much.
Right.
I have had videos that have done well and then kind of ebbed off, and then all of a sudden, like say, my bobbit worm video, that'll ebb. And then say if someone else does a bobbit worm video, or there's, I don't know, David Attenborough does a program and it's got a bobbit worm in it, people will then go on to TikTok and search for it. And then an old video that people are watching will then go viral because more people are watching it.
Yeah.
It then gets pushed onto the For You page again. So yeah, sometimes I'll be looking through and I'll be like, that's a really old video. Why is it doing really well now? And it'll be because something's happened. More people have been searching for it.
I'm waiting for there to be another Finding Nemo film, because I've made a video that's called "Watch This Before You Find Nemo," and like if there's another film,
on it, I bet there will be. I hope there is.
Yeah, in like 20 years' time, bastards. But so it's interesting that it's very similar to YouTube, and it's difficult to predict. And I think there are differences, because I can have videos that will do badly to start with, but they'll just like they're searchable. Whereas I guess you don't really get searches much in.
You will do. You will get searches. Like I've had some videos that will just like go up a good like amount each time. Do you know what I mean? Like I'll go back and look and I'll think, oh, that video has been all right, and it wasn't at the beginning, but that's because people are just scrolling and it's just pushing it slowly onto other people's For You pages. But yeah, I don't know, it's weird. It's hard to work out the algorithm and stuff. Really hard.
Do you think
it's not that hard? You've got, as in for you, I mean.
Yeah.
If you got
well,
over 1 million
whatever I'm
followers.
doing, I'm doing all right, I guess.
You
But
know,
I
actually-
still don't have a clue.
Oh, I'm doing all right. Do you know how many views you've got on your channel page, whatever it's called?
Altogether, I don't think it tells you how many views you've had completely. It tells me how many likes I've had altogether, which is 71.3 million. That's all the video likes that I've had altogether, but not my watches. No.
What's your most watched TikTok?
My most, hold on, let me have a look on popular. Let's see what comes
One of the
up.
ones, the clownfish have teeth one was really popular.
So I've got a video, 17.9 million watches, and I think that's probably the most. And that is me feeding my cowfish squid.
Are you writing this down, Alex? I've got a notepad.
Yeah, there he is. Look, I'm just feeding him squid. And yeah, so that got 1.9 million likes and 17.9 million watches on it.
That is double the population of London has watched your TikTok.
Yeah, it's crazy when I think about it. I try not to think about it like that. I try not to think of all the people that could possibly see a video.
Although, to be fair,
and judge me.
To be fair, about 400 people watch your last video, Ryan. So,
400 people. Thanks.
Yeah, that's a start.
You've got to start somewhere.
Wait, my last video, 1 second. My last video was of TMC, which did better than your last video of TMC.
I did 2 videos of TMC, and combined, they did marginally better than yours. So,
I want to talk. Did you ever get recognised? Because like a million people is a lot of people, and occasionally we get recognised. So if occasionally we get recognised, you must get recognised.
I mainly get recognised in fish shops.
Yes,
when I'm doing fishy things. I'll go to there was one time I got out the car at my local and this little girl was like, "Oh my God, are you Amy?" And I was like, "Oh, yeah." I have been recognised randomly out and about, but not all that much. Yeah. It is mainly when you go to a fish shop or you go to the shows or stuff like that. Because obviously it's like-minded people. Do you know what I mean? Yeah.
Oh yeah, it's the same for me. Although I had 3 weird ones. One was in a lift, one was at the doctor, and one was at the urinal.
I don't like any of them.
How did they recognise you at the urinal?
They were at the urinal. I walked into the bathroom. I saw that they turned around. They went to shake my hand. I went, "No thanks, mate." It was in America. I'm like, how do you think that this is an appropriate time to shake hands?
Put that away, and then we'll go and have a chat later.
Yeah. Can we block Daniel Harrison? I'm joking, but
yes, on it.
Commenting on my height.
You're not that shy.
Yeah. Do you remember at TMC?
Yeah. We met a few times. How tall are you?
5'1".
But you 5'1". Do you wear like stilts or something?
I think I had Crocs on the last time I saw you, Alex.
Okay, fair enough. I'm surprised I don't take the mick anymore for that, to be honest. But okay.
It's because you're worried she'll bully you back.
This is actually true. Yeah.
4'1".
We've got to do member questions, Ryan, before I forget. And one of these questions is a banging question, really good for I don't know. This is Bish Bash Ash, who says, bit of an odd question. We're in the right realm already. But how big would you want the reef keeping hobby to get? I kind of like that it's quite niche. I feel more connected to everybody at all levels. Still a good amount of choice in all aspects of the hobby too. I was wondering if, and so there's a follow-up to that. And then someone says he had similar thoughts, but more so with regard to treatment of the animals and all that sort of stuff. So how big, so if you could like snap your fingers and reef keeping is as big as football, for example, or whatever, would that be a good thing or a bad thing, or do you like it as it is?
Towards
Amy, first off, yeah.
I get the fact, I like it that it's niche and there's little communities everywhere and stuff like that, and I get it. Obviously, it would be lovely if the community was absolutely huge and there was all this money coming into it, because that means there's going to be more shops around. These little shops that have obviously struggled through COVID and stuff like that, and may still be struggling. It would be huge for them, but but also the fact that people would want to do it and maybe not treat the animals right, or but there's always that aspect in every kind of pet hobby, so yeah, I don't know, really.
I would
maybe
say
a little bit bigger.
The bigger the better, in my
opinion. For you.
well, yeah, no, there is that, but no, it's interesting you said for you, because I didn't think about that at all. the bigger something is, the more money is involved, which means the more stable it is usually. So our hobby is constantly under attack from like all different places, everywhere.
Animal activists, the government.
It is constantly under attack with different like CITES and stuff like that, where they like our own government will block corals that other countries want to sell us, and they will sell to other people, but they won't sell to us. Or with Hawaii and things like that. So the bigger the better. The more people that are in something, the more stable it is. And if we can, as people, can bring in more people, the more people, the better.
What comes with that is obviously a lot of our fish are wild caught. A lot of we get corals in that are fragged and all that from the wild and stuff like that. Would you not worry that it went huge?
Yeah.
One, you're not going to be able to find what you want because everyone's getting it, and two, if they're taking so much out of the wild, there's going to be restrictions put on it. Then at some point they'll say we can't do this anymore because it's not feasible for the ecosystem.
What happened with freshwater fish? Freshwater is much bigger than marine, isn't it?
But aren't they a lot easier to breed within systems, freshwater fish?
But then maybe we would figure out if there's more money.
There's a lot more people.
Maybe people have put more research into doing it.
I would definitely like it to be bigger. I don't know if I'd want it to be mainstream, like massive, like gaming big. Other hobbies like.
I know what you're saying. It is a finite reef source if you're taking.
I hadn't even thought about it that way until that question, and I thought actually, because I've always just thought the bigger the better, but actually it's kind of one of the good things about it is that it is a little bit niche, and you're part of a community, so that when you meet people who are into reefing, that's not just like if I meet someone who likes football, who cares? If I meet someone who's into reef keeping, it's like, oh god, it's amazing, isn't it? Yeah. Ooh.
It's you have like if you don't have that aspect of the hobby, it's something that's definitely missing. I'm incredibly lucky because I have some very close friends that are in, like Alex, for example, and Jamie, and then there are some other people. I meet people all the time. My job is just talking to people about fish. But if you don't have that, I think that it can be quite a lonely hobby because usually it's just you on your own and your partner that hates you for doing it.
Hence why I'm at my mum's. No, but I completely get that being lonely, because when I first started, I only had my local fish shop, which is why I am so close with the people that work there, because I would go and chat to them. Now I'm getting out there more and I've got more people to chat to. It is a lot more fun. It is enjoyable to talk about it. It's your hobby at the end of the day. Everyone wants to talk about the hobby.
Yeah.
But yeah, I get the point that when you first start and you haven't got them people around you, it is quite lonely, and you kind of feel like if something goes wrong, you're on your own. You haven't got these people to reach out to and say, what would you do in this situation? Have you got any tidbits or anything? It is like a huge learning curve when you're on your own.
I'd like it to be bigger in terms of shops and all these sorts of things as well. I'd like more competition too, because there's in terms of the equipment side, there's a few companies, but it's quite small. And so I think the more competition you have, the more you get innovation, and the more you get competitive prices and all these sorts of things as well, variety. And that would be no bad thing with livestock as well, albeit I wouldn't want it to be a race to the bottom and be like a clownfish for £2 or whatever, but just another level up would be good, I think.
No, I agree.
But that was just a really good question. I like that kind of a philosophical question. So good job, Ash. And then Tom Bish Bosch was the other question. Any tips? Yeah, this is because it's getting hot in the UK at the moment. Any tips for mounting a DD Ocean Breeze fan? He has an all-in-one tank, so you can't really attach it to the rim or the back panel, with suckers on the glass, and then attach it with clamps to them. So I've cheated. I've 3D printed a bracket that dangles it from my light. But basically, you're gonna have to cut around your little what's it called? Your mesh top. Have you got a fan on top of your tank, Amy?
Me? No.
Yeah, no.
I just when it's a hot day, I just
hope and pray.
I don't think about it. Yeah, I hope and pray. I mean, I'm in Wales. We get like a couple of hot days, and then it's raining.
That's it.
The rest of it. So I think
you can put it on the rim of your sump. On my main tank, I have it over my sump because I have that exact problem. That's probably what I would do, and it still does work. But you need to ventilate.
Does it cause loads of evaporation then?
I mean, it does, but I don't. I've not measured it. It does. That is how it cools. So yes, but whether it's not, I don't think it's. I've not noticed suddenly like all my water disappears from my auto top off reservoir overnight or whatever. So, but it will do more. But if it's that or hot tank,
air conditioning, then you're cold as well.
Yeah.
The farm is lovely at the moment. When it's hot, I'll go in the air conditioning in the farm, so it's great.
But that I would clip it on the sump. Oh no, you said you got an all-in-one tank. Yeah, you stuffed then. I used to rest it on top of my tank. Literally,
find a friend that 3D prints that can design you one.
Exactly. Yeah, do that. You can just rest it on top of your tank, but that's it's not ideal. But if anyone in the chat has sorted that, then let us know. Those are the member questions. Ryan, do you want to do fish of the week and coral of the week? Did we do that earlier with Amy? Did you have?
No, we haven't.
So the fish of the week, we haven't done it yet, but I'm going to go for a clarion angelfish. Is the fish of the week. I like to use the fish of the week sometimes if I actually put some thought into it to show people fish that they possibly haven't seen before. Amy,
you can be the judge on this because me and Ryan usually disagree. Do you think that's bearing in mind? Hang on, let me just pull up a. Do you think that's a cool fish or a boring fish?
That one there, boring.
Correct.
That's ugly bubbly.
What about this one?
He always picks the worst possible.
Yeah, why aren't you picking the ones with the nice blue on them?
So the blues are
the junior ones. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, I hate that when you get a cute juvenile and then they get older and ugly.
So these
that's cute and I like it. I wouldn't get one, but I do like that one.
How much would you pay for this fish?
I wouldn't.
You wouldn't. Okay, how much would you think this fish costs?
This one.
Bear
in mind, it looks like that.
I'd say quite. I don't think I've seen one of them ever. I'd say quite expensive.
Is there a price for
$6,000 at Marine World Aquatics?
I wasn't thinking that.
for that.
Blimey, for that. No, that's ugly for that price. That's ridiculous.
Are they deep water fish or something? Yeah. Why are they?
I think they're only collected from one place.
Are they rare?
I don't think they're rare in the location they're from. However, so they've now been put on the CITES list, so you can't get them here anymore. You can't even get the tank bred ones imported here anymore. But that's one of the reasons they're expensive. Although I think Barley Aquarich are actually, they're tank breeding them. I think because they have a very localized area, that's why they're considered something that could be at risk, I think.
Yeah.
Brian's going to correct you now.
Yeah. No, they might be right.
You want to speak to, get
Here we go. And this is Wikipedia, so you know it's true. The clarion angelfish has a very limited range in the Eastern Pacific, being largely restricted to some island.
It's almost like I know what I'm talking about.
Yeah. Adam Peacock's just said that Abyss had one a couple of years ago for 3,000.
It would have been a while ago. So I think I had a look at this. They went on the CITES, unless it was a tank breakdown. I think they went on the CITES list in 2018. I think so.
It was a while ago.
Yeah, I think I last saw. I think they had 4 of them in Tropical Paradise in Portsmouth. They've went down, like they disappeared a long time ago. But the only reason I brought up one of my customers really wants one, and so if anyone has
are they willing to pay that for one?
Yeah. If anyone has one and you're having a tank breakdown, or you just want to get rid of your really expensive angelfish,
a mental breakdown,
or a mental breakdown, yeah. It's the same as those bandit angels. I think they're £7,000. I think.
Gosh.
So the last one yeah, exactly. Before they were banned, there was one at Reefkeeper Windsor, which is how long ago it was. It was £1,200.
Yeah,
and at the time I was like, wow, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And now it's like, I'll have 10, please. Thanks.
I think the tank bred ones now are about 7,000, maybe even more. But I have a thing for expensive angels and tax deductible expense. So it's like, as I said, having said that, the king eye has given me nothing but nightmares, and it ruined the hobby for me. Because before, like you never really. If you lose a fish, it hurts. If you lose a king eye, it hurts a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Well, you haven't lost one, so.
yeah, that's true. I haven't lost one yet. Although I heard that there was one at remember the Ocean Project?
Yeah.
They had a king eye in there. Apparently, they lost their one. This was obviously a long time ago. That is a bad day at the shop.
That was when they were really rare. There was a time when suddenly a load of them came in, and Ocean Project got theirs in before all these others popped up.
Yeah.
And I can't remember if they told me how much they paid or if I just saw the price, but it was a lot of money.
Yeah,
and they suddenly became cheaper. And I think they were.
They're like 14 grand, I think.
Yeah, I think Ocean Project had them it was on sale for £6,000 or something, and then like a month later they were 1,500 quid.
I've never seen one for 1,500 quid. I think they were like
£2,000.
I think they're 2.5 to 3. Yeah.
2.5. It wasn't much, relatively speaking. I'm not spending £2.5. I'm not like only £2.5 for a fish. But there's some chat about your philosophical videos. I was so JJ was talking about the ethics of reef keeping, and I said that you did a video on that, and he said that was one of the first videos he found of yours. You should do more philosophical videos, right?
I should just do more videos. Those sorts of videos I actually really love doing, but they come to you. Like that's one day I thought, is fish keeping ethical? I could do a video on that.
Have you not thought of like putting out a story and being like, when you put the little question and answer stuff and being like, what videos would you like to see from me, and seeing if anyone's got any good ideas for you?
Yeah,
that's a really good idea. This is the thought process of someone who knows social media.
Lots of people will come back to you and say, I want videos on starting a tank, and I'll be like,
I've already done it. A lot of the time it's like, I've already done it, go to this page.
Yeah, but you might have 10 suggestions that are no good, but you might get one
off them. Yeah, exactly. You might get one off them and think, actually, that'd be a really good video.
There were some of those that I really loved doing, and one of the things the other ones I really loved doing were the species videos. For some reason, my species videos do better than other species videos. I don't know why. It might be because I reference.
I don't know why. I'm just so good at it.
It might be because I reference, like, having a boxfish and its toxins would be like a fart in an elevator that kills everything. That's the sort of that's the sort of content you get with
fart in an elevator. Does people die? Is that kills?
That's when the person recognised him as well.
Yeah. Wait a minute.
I recognise that smell. Sorry.
Yeah, those videos did it all right. Why does it say Ryan should shave? I always have a beard that's like this. So, but sorry, I just got distracted by the comment section. Those videos usually do well, but for me, you have to get lots of interesting footage. I could do a video, easily do a video on like a powder blue tang or whatever, but I have one powder blue tang that's in one tank that swims up and down. Like it's not. I like to have lots of different footage from all different places for those videos, which I used to go to fish shops and aquariums and film things like that, but I don't do that anymore. Banned from most fish shops. So
got a picture behind the counter.
Yeah, there's picture saying if this guy comes in, don't let him in.
Yeah.
So
all right. We also have a Prestige Reef Coral of the Week, don't we?
Yes, Coral. No.
I picked this one. I've picked this one.
Oh,
so I picked the pink lemon goni. That is not pink and it's not lemon.
That's true.
So I posted this picture. Amy sent me a message complaining, saying that it's sold out. It's not sold out. I don't think. Well, I'll assume it's sold out. But Amy sent me a message going that name is rubbish.
Name. It's not pink. It's not lemon. I said it should have been called a Grape Fanta Ice Blast, and I think that is an excellent name. Grape Fanta Ice Blast.
Where's the Fanta? Where are you getting the orange from?
Because it's not. The Fanta Ice Blast, and you can get the blue Fanta Ice Blast.
It's not blue.
It's got blue on the tip.
Okay, you are definitely
colorblind. Oh yeah, maybe. Yeah,
it's got blue on the tips, and that is a better name than pink lemon.
I'm sorry.
Stupid name.
I'm sorry, but that is as far from blue as you can get. Like, it looks more close. Okay, we'll do a poll. I'm going to lose. I'm going to lose this because people are going to side with Amy anyway.
Well, I'll tell you what we'll do with the poll. What was your suggestion, Amy?
Mine was the grape Fanta Ice Blast because it's purple and the Fanta Ice Blasts are blue and it's got the blue tips.
What's Fanta Ice Blast?
Have you not had a Fanta Ice Blast before?
No.
The little frozen drinks that you can get in the cinema and stuff.
No, okay. No,
that's green. That's not green. That is not pink and green.
Amy sent me a complaint of the name. I replied saying, "What would you call it?" Amy replied with that name. Ryan didn't reply. So I was like, I am not sure what to say to this. I just sent a laughing emoji.
Google. Hold on. Let me show you. Fanta Ice Blast.
Fanta Ice Blast. Well, I've started a poll. Oh yeah. Okay.
See the blue one? That's the same color as the tips.
No, it's not even close.
Yes, it is. You're making me annoyed.
Anyway,
it's better than
I get the feeling I'm going to lose a poll for once.
You're getting smashed. What do you mean for once?
For once.
Remember the tangs? Anyway.
I
only win ever.
That was a particularly painful, the only one you won, yeah.
But episode 6.
Paul doesn't count. Abbott Paul, he doesn't count. He's a hater.
So I block him.
Okay. He's Paul. I can't see him.
Oh, is it a Tango Ice Blast? Right, it's a tango. Whatever.
Tango Ice Blast. Oh, I see.
Sorry,
well, you could see a Fanta Ice, but there is a Fanta Ice Blast.
You can't change the name now.
No, I'm not. I'm keeping it Fanta.
Not close at all. Am I losing by miles then?
Getting smashed, Brian, anyway, so it doesn't really
Where
matter.
is this poll? I can't see it.
Yeah, we can't see them.
It's 81% in favour of Grape Fanta Ice Blast, 19 in favour of Pink Lemon.
Thank you very much.
There you go.
It is purple, to be fair. Grape it's got to have grape in it. Anyway, whatever.
I'm going to have to change the name of this now, aren't I?
Yes, please. Or just put in brackets, Amy does some stuff, named it this.
Like a 5-page long description, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'll write that, and then at the bottom of the description, I'll explain why I've called it that.
Yeah.
Great. I'm writing this down. Grape Fanta.
No, not Fanta. It's what was it? It was the other one.
Tango Ice Blast.
Tango.
Grape.
Ice Blast.
Grape. Tango.
This is what will happen soon on Ultra Reef. Someone will be like, have you seen what Ryan's doing? He's naming his corals these stupid 100%. Names to get more money.
I'll be doing that. I'll set up a new profile.
Yeah. No, you won't even do it anonymously.
Yeah. Someone asked earlier how the progress is on the coral auction website.
Did they?
Oh yeah, you did. How's that going?
So it is ready, almost. So basically today I uploaded some of my. I can't show. I showed Alex it earlier. So Alex has seen, like, I shared my screen with him, so Alex has seen it. I'm happy to show you Amy afterwards. I can't show everyone because everyone will go on it. And some stuff is being edited on Tuesday, and if people are on the website, they can't. It can mess with something. That's what I was told.
I've seen a little bit of it. You sent it me.
Oh no, I actually literally showed Alex the proper website. Yeah, you saw the video before. So I've actually. The good thing about it is you can upload a coral for an auction in like a year's time if you want. So I've actually already done the auctions that are going to go live. All that's being edited now is adding a watch list, so people can click watch and then it will email them when it's going to end. So there was so much involved with making this website, like just it's way worse than you thought. There's still a couple of like niggly things I want to try and do, but I've decided that it has enough to release it. And if I want to add something like the watch list later on, who cares, if you see what I mean?
It's an easier job.
Yeah, but then it will just be about getting enough people there. So my plan is to put the rest of the auctions on. I will notify the other sellers because quite a lot of people, even shops, have contacted me now. Even Maidenhead I've spoken to. One of the Maidenhead.
Amazing.
Yeah, has gone. We're thinking. We've seen what you're doing. We're thinking about it. So this is what I think will be quite big for other people selling on it. But because I've created something and I don't want it to go wrong for other people, the first set of auctions will only be mine. So for the first week,
I want prototype, see how it goes, make sure it's running smoothly.
I would hate to find out that like people are doing it and then all of a sudden you go, oh, I didn't see that there's an issue with the payment, or there was an issue with an email not getting sent to someone or something like that. So if I screw up my own stuff, I would send people their money back, or I would solve the issue one way or another. So the
You want a
timeline.
beta tester as well.
Yeah. You will be testing probably on Tuesday or Wednesday. So probably Wednesday. Once they've done their bit, you'll be on it.
How much do you pay me?
You want to do it because you like me. So
okay. So
but
how much do you pay me? Sorry?
not a lot. The exact this is how you get Alex to be quiet when he asks those questions. The exact same amount you pay me to be on these live streams for the last 98.
Do you not get paid for this, Ryan? I'm getting paid.
You're getting paid, yes.
Oh.
It's like yeah. So sorry, timeline quickly. So next Sunday it will go live. The Sunday after will be when the first auctions will end. There will be at least 120 auctions on there to get people interested. And then after that, people will be able to do what they want. And I will send an email to 5,000 people probably on Saturday to go sign up. So
is this people you already know? And
these are people that are on the website.
Yeah.
And local customers, and I have WhatsApp groups and all sorts of things. So it's like, this is basically, I need this to be pushed as much as possible. We have one chance, but I'm in a unique position because I have enough following to get enough followers there, people buying, and that will attract the sellers. So if I get hassle from people, I'm going to warn the sellers. I'm going to you be nice to people. Yeah. If there's any discrepancy, you err on the side of the buyer, because I don't want the hassle of this. And if there is hassle, I'm not doing it.
It's going to come back to you and they'll be like, oh, this person did this.
I did this to make it sort of as easy as possible, both for myself and people contact me every day going, when is this going live? Because we want this. You all have to make it work, basically. So,
well, if you need it promoting, you know where I am. A wink, wink.
Too expensive for me. So, but yeah, as I said, everyone, I want you to sign up is as well, because that's the other thing. When I have loads of people signed up, I can go onto my Instagram and go, look, I have thousands of people signed up. What sellers want to come join? It'll be a community effort. So
nice, exciting.
Yeah, that is the update.
Good. Do we want?
Again.
That's it. Yeah, bye. Cheers for joining. Do we want to do the news? Yeah, we want to do the news. Yeah, all right. We'll do the news.
I love that.
Love that. I absolutely love it. I know it's sad, but I love it. It's really sad. News, right? Yes, news. Reef keeping news. Okay, shuffles papers. Right. We were talking earlier about stuff like panning the hobby and all this sort of stuff. There's an article on Reef Builders about broad pet bans that are affecting the aquarium trade. There's some bans that are in the States that are aimed at eliminating puppy mills.
Good.
Yeah, which
it's terrible over there. You go into a pet shop and the dogs are in cages.
Yeah, no.
In like Petco and stuff.
It's more of I've never been Petco, so I don't know. But literally, the cage will probably be like a 1.5 foot, and it will have a puppy or a kitten in it. And I'm like, it feels so unnatural because you never see it here, but over there it's just normal.
In the UK, so you get
a dog from a pet shop.
That's crazy. So we have pets at home, and they have like gerbils and rabbits in their shops.
Yeah,
but that's it. You'd never have kittens or puppies.
Yeah, but they'd have a section for dogs, puppies, and kittens,
and dozens of the bastards.
There's one that I have been to a few times. It's because they had fish there as well, and they had probably 20 dogs in those little cages, and I was like, who thinks this is acceptable?
Because that's oh, Dad, can we get a dog? Oh, okay, go on and bag it up.
Yeah, it's like an impulse buy.
Bag it up.
Yeah. Put some food in with it.
Them. You literally feel sorry for them. I reckon that probably 50% of their sales are people buying them because they feel sorry for the dog.
I wonder if the sales
I'd do that. I'd feel sorry for it and get all of them.
Yeah.
Anyway, so this is aimed at stopping puppy mills, but apparently it impacts aquarium shops as well, because there are people who go in and they're looking at proper pets in inverted commas, and they're like, "Ooh, fish are cool," and they all those customers disappear. So lots of aquarium shops struggling in the US because of this sort of thing. And there's a picture here with a What's it? Not a Doberman. What's the big dog called? What's that dog called?
Rottweiler.
Rottweiler. Rottweiler wearing a hat.
One of those. My parents had one of those.
Oh, really? Rotty. Yeah,
Yeah.
They're big boys, aren't they? Yeah. What was it called, Brian?
We had two. We had one called Ruby and one called Darcy. And Darcy was like, they howl. Darcy howled like all day, all night. It was just random.
He was just singing you the song of her people. That's all.
Darcy was actually a boy. He was like a rescue, and he came with that name. So
you just stuck with it, yeah.
But
more news anyway. I've got bored of your dog chat, if I'm completely honest. So we're going to move on to fish stuff. We saw this. The three of us saw this recently. So this is right. So this is again from Reef Builders. Canon, the photography company, the camera company.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Ryan's like, oh yes, I know cameras. Coral Spawning Lab.
No, I knew what you were talking about.
I know. And Nature Seashells are teaming up to regenerate coral reefs. And this is so Canon. It's a big deal that Canon are involved, and they're doing something with the imaging of the corals that will help us see things that we haven't seen before. But anyway, the reason that this was particularly interesting is because this is a project in the Seychelles, which is they're getting the Coral Spawning Lab, which is what we saw at Tropic Marine, at TMC.
Oh, they're getting the same one.
That exact one was being dried off and boxed up and sent to the Seychelles.
To go to the Seychelles. Oh, cool.
For this exactly. So that's what it is, and they're sending out to regenerate the reefs. Look at all that bleak coral-free area.
Terrible, doesn't it?
Not much longer. You wait till you put a load of little tiny aquafrags down there that get eaten by parrotfish within 4 days. So, but yeah, good. I love all that sort of stuff, and it's it's cool.
That is actually, I know I'll let you keep going, but I've seen how they repopulate the reefs, like in other areas. It might be different with the coral spawning, but they literally go to a healthy reef, take the bits that have broken off naturally, and then so they're big chunks, and then stick them onto these metal grates. They're like metal spiders.
Yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so I think that's how you avoid putting the little frags in that get eaten.
Yeah, totally.
Sorry, I interrupted you.
That's good. UNS Systems. You ever heard of UNS Systems? Either of you two?
No.
They make fish tanks, and they have brought out a new range of peninsula tanks.
Ooh.
Ryan, I feel like you won't like peninsula tanks because you've got no taste.
I feel like you're more harsh today than usual.
He's tired. Let him have it. He's sleepy. He's tired. Let him.
It's not often I've got somebody to help pick on you, but I feel like you don't like peninsula tanks.
I wouldn't mind a peninsula tank as long as it was in the right place.
Do you like that?
I wouldn't like it up against the wall, no. But if it was in like a room divider, then yes, because you see both sides.
Amy, do you like that?
I quite like that. Yeah. I'm not fussy though. When it comes to I've had loads of different but I just noticed somebody said they don't like the NIOS tanks because they stick out a little bit. I quite like that.
Yeah. I'm not so keen on that.
I was the person who said that I didn't like it. Might not have been me, but
I've got very thick cabinets as well, haven't they?
It's they're really thick. They're really thick, but it's cool because the tanks like dip down so you can't see the bottom of the tank. I like it. I think
I don't like what they've done with the cabinet, but I had a tank which had like a little lip around the edge, so you couldn't see all the dirt that was in the sand. That I love that, and if ever I had a custom made tank,
that's like this one. Yeah, it's like this one.
Yeah. Well, so these peninsula ones, there's new ones coming out. No word on prices or release dates, and someone's asked in the chat if they're coming to the UK. Don't know. I've not seen them in the UK, but they will be a 4 foot, a 5 foot, and a 6 foot version, which is a shame because I want a 3 foot peninsula tank.
Get in touch with them, see if they'll make you one.
Oh, that's for that room, isn't it?
Yeah. I want to replace the cage with a 3 foot, and I won't tell you your plan for it. But they've got mitered edges, which Ryan won't care about, but I find exciting.
Is that where they like?
Yeah, they like 45-degree angles on the glass. In the corner. It's all right. What else have we got? Oh yes, two more things. Parwise Pro. And for some reason, I didn't load up the page. The Parwise Pro has been, so this is on the Reef Builder website, so it's been released. I think that must mean it's been released in the US because it's been in the UK for a long time. British company, to be fair. And if you want to know more about it, you can check out the Reef Dork video. So I'm not going to tell you anything else because I want you to watch the video. But so this has been released. It's $350, I think. $350, $380.
That's not bad for a par.
It's quite expensive, to be fair, because the standard one is not. It's not half that, but it's not far off. It's like £220 or something.
Right,
like
right.
But this measures.
Tested his so I have an Apogee. I tested that compared to that one, and he I don't know what he was doing or anything. He said there was quite a noticeable difference.
So I used your Apogee, and it was very close. You go and watch the video if you want to see what it was, but it was close. And I 3D printed a bracket that held the sensors right next to each other. Yeah, I know, but anyway, so it's like I don't know how accurate it is. It was pretty accurate for me, and fine for our purposes in the hobby. But it measures CPR, photosynthetic usable radiation, which in theory is better than PAR. But for me, there's no point in PAR, because if you go and ask someone what PAR should I have on my acros, I don't know. If you ask what PAR, 350. So I don't know. I think in 10 years' time,
there'll be some angry person typing away going, "This is the reason it's important."
Well, but in 10 years' time, because it's a better measurement for what corals need,
people will move over to it, won't they?
Yeah, maybe. But if there's no reference point at the moment, is it really worth knowing? But I think it could be good. But at the moment, I think the standard Parwise is a better buy than the Parwise Pro, and I actually I like it. I've got it. I was given it, to be fair. So, but there we go. And the final piece of news is that, and I hate this kind of news if I'm completely honest. This feels a little bit like, Salem's leaving Reef Dork.
That might be it.
Yeah. And this is what we talk about, and this is like this news in our hobby. But this feels like that's a person who's changed jobs, and that feels like it's kind of, that's weird, isn't it? If you quit your work and move somewhere else, and then someone on the internet is talking about you, that's so I don't. But anyway, look. Salem is leaving Reef Builders, which is a shame. But I always thought he was doing a lot, to be fair. I think it looked like it was hard work. He was putting a lot in. No, I didn't. I don't think he said. He just said he was moving on. I can't remember exactly what he said, but he did a ton of videos. He was doing a lot of articles. He was traveling around quite a lot. Really good exposure and experience with that sort of stuff, but I always felt like he did a lot. So I don't know if he burned out. I don't know if he's just got a better offer. That was the other thing. I'm sure he'll stay in the hobby, but he's kind of someone with his brains basically is always likely to get better offers elsewhere. So I don't know if I always felt like he was going to be with us for a short period in this kind of guise. I'm sure he'll stay in the hobby, and he'll do other things, but he's a clever boy. So he's destined for better things. But
Amy's finding it hard to stay awake during the news, almost as hard to stay awake during the news as I do.
There's no equipment news today, really, kind of, apart from the tank. Well, that concludes the news. So
I love that.
Were you dancing during it?
Yeah, I was.
It's like,
and then I stopped for a bit because I was like,
you did like a secret dance.
Yeah. Is there anything else you wanted to talk about, Amy or Ryan?
I don't think so.
No, I think we've covered pretty much everything.
In which case, apparently it's your bedtime, according to Southeast Reefer.
10 o'clock is my bedtime. They know full well that at 10 o'clock I go good night, and then it's me done on the
even
chat.
When she's at an event with everyone else.
Yeah. Well, when I was at TMC, I was like, it is past my bedtime. I'm going.
And we've had a review of the episode. It was adequate, which is always nice to hear.
More than adequate.
More than adequate.
Oh, bloody hell. Oh, that's actual, wow, serious. Hang, is that with Pele? It is. Cool. I've never noticed that before. Anyway, right, we're going to go now. So thanks all for joining. And Amy, thanks for coming on. It's been
thank you for having me. This has been so much fun. I've really enjoyed it.
Good.
Always a pleasure chatting to you guys.
Right. See you later.
Bye.
Bye.